Hello and welcome to another video here at Scale Hectic. Now this time we are looking at this Porsche 911 manufactured by Fly, which is a replica of Magnus Walker's 277 Porsche from his massive Porsche collection. Now if you know anything about Porsches and you're into your 911s, you will know of Magnus Walker. He's pretty well known. He has a massive Porsche collection and it's quite amazing to see that Fly have done a replica of it. So let's get cracking, let's have a detailed look at it and let you know what we think. Let's crack on. Fly have always been good at the detail of their cars, and this car is no exception to that. If anything, it is perhaps too perfect, because the real car is very much a used and driven hard car. So it does have paint chips, the odd scrape here and there that are not present on this car. But what is present is all the details, such as all the stickers that are on the real car, even the ones that are on the rear side windows. A silver grille on the rear engine cover, with silver trims around the windows, and the dainty silver door handles. All comes together to give a really accurate look of what the real car really is. I guess one criticism I have is that the bonnet and engine cover hold downs are just painted black and not raised at all, which is a bit of a shame really. There are also some mistakes. For example, the rear engine cover grille should be crossed hatch, not lined. It should also have some additional vents. Although I like the mirrors, they are also incorrect and too small. And the seats are also wrong, as these should be high backed and with tartan patterns in the middle. That said, I do like the fact that there is actually a full interior in this car, and the dash is really well detailed. But that leads us on to a question. How have they fitted a full interior given that this car needs a motor? So let's find out and take a look inside. Before we look at the inside, we must look at the underside. Much like the top side, the underside of Fly cars are always very well detailed. They tend to detail their cars a bit like static models. Starting at the back, we can see the engine and gearbox detail along with the exhaust system, leading to a magnet which is located in front of the rear axle and in its own blow down block that keeps it very close to the track. We can see the rear gear for a sidewinder mounted motor, floor pan detail which is reminiscent of what you would expect on a 911 of this era. The guide is not sprung loaded and is a simple copper braid affair that is 19.25mm long and 6mm deep. The rear tyres are 9.5mm wide, whereas the front tyres are 9.5mm wide. Now moving to the inside, and we can immediately see how they've now done the interior and how they've stayed true to what a 911 actually is, in so much as they've actually positioned the motor behind the rear axle, just like it would be in a real car. Really nice attention to detail, that I really like that. But what we can also see is just how basic a Fly car is internally. We've got obviously our side mount motor mount, we've got our rear axle going through here into plastic bushes, nothing in the middle apart from our rectangular magnet here which protrudes out the bottom of the car as we saw earlier. Our front axle, which is on kind of a slide fitting with no bushes, and then the wires just pushing into the guide there. So really basic internally. But what I do note, and it's something I wouldn't have noticed if I hadn't been doing these videos, is it actually appears to be an additional magnet mount here at the front for a round magnet. So that will allow us to have two different track times for this car. We'll do one with the magnet positioned at the back, and then we'll remove that magnet and we'll have another one with a position here at the front there and see what the difference is. I suspect it will be faster with the magnet at the back but more entertaining with the magnet at the front, but we'll find that out in a few moments. The interior is held in with melted tabs, so that means that if you do ever want to get into that, it's going to be a little bit more tricky than some other things we've looked at. If you look back at the RX-7 video we did a couple of weeks ago, you'll see just how Spartan this looks inside in comparison to that car. Big difference. So that's a detailed look at this car over and done with. So what we'll do now is we'll put it back together and we'll run it with the magnets in the 2 different positions, see what lap times we get, and then let you know our thoughts. Right, first step is to run the car with the magnet in the rear position, see what lap time we get, and then we'll move to magnet in the front. Let's see how it goes. So that's the laps completed now with the magnet in the rear. We achieved a 4.83 lap time. I'm not sure where that compares to everything else, but I'll put the graph up at the end or towards the end of this video. I've now moved the magnet to the front. Now what I didn't really fully appreciate when I was first talking about that magnet being in the front is, you know, we mentioned about the rear magnet sticking out the bottom. Well, on the front it doesn't do that, so it's actually quite a long way from the track. So in actual fact it doesn't really feel like it's doing a lot. It was pretty stuck down in the back before, so I'm not entirely sure how good that's going to go. So what I'll do is I'll do the laps with that, and then I'll probably true the tyres and see how much that improves it after that. So yeah, so I'll do the 10 laps with it as it is, magnet in the front, untrue tyres, and we'll see what lap time we get. Okay, so that's those lap times completed. As you can see, it was quite tail happy, and I actually had an accident over there at the end. We got a, just bear with me a moment, let me just check what we got there. We got a 7.13, so way down on what we were getting. So, although it was more entertaining to drive, but just a little bit too light on the back end really. So I will true those tyres, and then we'll see if we can improve that from the 7.37. Alright, let's see how we get on. Right, so truing the tyres makes a massive difference. With the magnet in the front, it knocks 2.5 seconds off the lap time, which is such a difference that I then had to rerun the car with the magnet back in the back to get a new lap time. And the lap time with the magnet in the back was at 4.33 seconds, which is actually identical to the slotted Skyline. So yeah, I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting this to be as quick as a slotted car. But yeah, I mean, it does. In all honesty though, with the magnet in the back, true tyres, it's so stuck to the track that you just know that what's going to happen is when it does, you're not going to get any tail in slide, but when it does slide, it's flying off the track and you're likely to damage the car. So I actually really liked it with true tyres and magnet in the front, although it will need some work, because what I think was happening was the front tyres were gripping on the arches and it was causing the front to bounce slightly. So much so that I felt like it was kind of losing power a bit on the front at times. So I think I could improve that lap time with the true tyres magnet in the front. I think I could improve it slightly. I'll put the lap time up to see what that is. So here's a graph of where all the cars are falling. What I've taken on this one is its fastest lap time, which is a 4.33, and you can see that it falls there right smack bang where that Skyline is. In terms of the car itself, what are my thoughts on it? Typical Fly build quality really. There's been a couple of issues where I'm taking this apart. I've only taken it apart a few times. The two screws that go into the front posts, they rounded or stripped the threads out immediately. They actually don't go in far enough, so they are only just about holding in there. And you've probably noticed that the exhaust assembly has fallen off the back. That actually fell off when I was screwing that screw back in. It just wasn't properly bonded in there. I will bond that back in, it's not really making any difference. Other than that, I love how the car looks, and I do feel that with some minor work this could be made to be a very reliable and fast, entertaining car to drive. So yeah, my thoughts are it's good but needs a bit of work. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed that video. Hope you enjoyed the previous videos. If you haven't, check them out, or if you haven't seen them, check them out. If you haven't enjoyed them, don't check them out. But yeah, keep liking, keep subscribing. The more we can get more people we can get watching these videos, the more I'll be doing them, and the further we can take this. Okay, thanks for watching, and catch you on the next one. Bye bye.